Welcome to the Knife Junkie podcast. I'm Bob DeMarco. Coming up, we're going to do another random knife giveaway thanks to OG Blades. We're going to give away this super cool Rosecraft, kind of gentleman's knife, kind of tactical knife. We're going to talk about some oldies but goodies right here. And then, are you going to Blade Show? And if so, what should I get? Or what are you going to get? I'm excited about Blade Show. I've been trying to think about it last year. I knew going into it I wanted to get a push dagger. I did from Stroop Knives, and this year saved up just a little bit more. That's why my state of the collections have been somewhat barren in the last few weeks. I'm trying to save up so I can buy stuff in real life when I'm talking to makers and into their knives. So what are you interested in getting? Just curious. Ground Fog, good to have you here, sir. We have Ground Fog with us, as is our pleasure. Pete Davidson, nice to have you. G'day, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. How's it hanging? Rainy day here, so I get to catch you live, going full combat wombat today. Nice to hear. Pete says, Police K390, Victorinox Mountaineer and Swiss Tool, 01 Trailmaster. God, I love the Trailmaster. Blackhawk Blades UKSF. Not sure what that is. Maybe United Kingdom Special Forces in a Galco Miami Vice shoulder rig. I know exactly what you're talking about. Back in Miami Vice days, Sonny was one of the first guys I ever saw with a horizontal shoulder holster. So it didn't have it upright. It had it sideways, and I always thought that was cool. Viper Knives MAGA. Wow, that's apropos for the evening. Civivi Mandate, Gerber Mark 1, love the Mark 1, and an FGX Delta Dart. When is that when is that Gerber Mark 1 from? What is the year on that? I'd be curious. OG Blades, nice to have you here, Dave. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Just go to Atlanta and buy me all the stuff you want, because we have some the same taste, especially that Agent 001. Oh, you know it, brother. Yeah, I cannot wait to see that thing and get my hands on it. I think I will just, I'm not sure if he's planning on sending it before, but it's coming up, so I may as well just collect it then. The only reason I wouldn't want to is the bringing it back. That makes me nervous. I worry about TSA with sticky fingers and all that. Pete Davidson says Olight Mini. Oh, I'm sorry. Olight Warrior Mini and Monteverde alligator skin pen. Oh, that sounds nice. Helped document the chase off some campers. Oh, campers on my parents' property this morning. I'm sure the shillelagh, I guess that is, helped also. Shillelagh like the stick, but shilagh. I think that's a shillelagh, right? Like a big damn stick. So what are these campers doing? Are they just hanging out, or is it are they trapping or something like that? Fed Harrison, nice to have you here, Fed. Good evening, Bomb at Jim. So ready for Blade Show Atlanta. Oh God, me too. Hope to get to meet you this year. Carrying my Devo Stout, very nice. Jack Wolf Knives Gunslinger, very nice in purple haze. Ooh. And that's the coveted one right there. And a Forest SLR Hank, Jack's Lungs Jank. I'm not sure what the hell that means, Fed. But if you see me there, come say hi. Unless you're a guy with a big chef's toque, I won't recognize you. So if you recognize me, please do come say hi. And that goes for anyone here. I would love to meet you. And well, I'd love to meet you. That's all. Come say hi if you see me. Cheeto, nice to have you here. Cheeto DeMilo. Yellow sirs. Yellow to you, sir. And your avatar is yellow. Joseph S., nice to have you here, Joseph. Good evening, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Well, good evening to you, Joseph. Pat D's Nuts, good to have you here, Pat. Hello, all, he says. Well, hello to you, sir. Five Door, greetings, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Greetings to you, Five Door. Always a pleasure. This man, if you don't follow Five Door on Instagram, you must, because like a lot of the guys here, he's got a killer collection, very sophisticated collection, but sophisticated on the tactical side, which I appreciate. Will B., good to have you here, Will. Hey, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. I won't be going to Blade Show. Wah, wah. You know, I hear you. There were many, 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 many years. I got about 50 years that I didn't go to Blade Show. I guess 49 years of my life I didn't go to Blade Show, and they were bleak years. And then it all turned around. I'm just kidding. They were great years, but they got greater with Blade Show. So, you know, if you can still get your hands on a lot of what's happening at Blade Show as time goes on, but it's just fun to go and meet people in person. So someday I hope to meet you there. Hey, Knives Fast. We have JC. I hope to see JC there. Hello, JC has a new fixed blade knife. I can't remember what it's called, but he's got a cool new fixed blade knife coming out. And some other dressy, like very nice folder. Anyway, Casey says, hello, Bob. Long time no see. Good to have you here, sir. I'll be at Blade Show for sure. Table 7cc. Look forward to seeing you there. That's right. Last year, I got my Father's Day gift from Casey. I got the Tempest microburst, and that was my I got authorization from my wife to get it out of the family account, and that will be your Father's Day present. I was like, all right. So perhaps maybe they dropped the ball again this year, Casey, and you and I will win out again. James Moore says, hi, Bob. James Moore, good to have you here, sir. Hi, Bob. Please get the Sinkovich Pike at the show. Okay, I'll get 2. I'll get 3. 2 for me, 1 for you. I would love anything by Sinkovich. I really would. Even the fat, weird round designs I like, but I definitely prefer the longer kind of 450 type design, whatever that is. Miranda Hornsby, nice to have you here, Rainey. Hey guys, she says, well, hello to you. Nice to have you here. Casey says, hey everyone. Oh my God, Casey has a lot of live shows. I notice. I don't watch them all, certainly, but got to check out Knives Fast. If you don't, I'm sure if you're here, you're already checking it out. So I'm preaching to the choir, but Casey's putting out a lot of live shows, and I think that's where the rubber meets the road for that man. He seems to have a what's the word? Facility for it, or no, that's not the word, but he's great with live shows. 5 Door, I'm going to Blade Show. Well, I look forward to meeting you, sir. But if I could, I'd go straight to Old Dominion. Oh, my Naj, I love Old Dominion. Casey is his name. Casey. Such cool knives. And 5 Door, you have a Chupacabra, I think, from him, don't you? His stuff is so cool. I've tried to get him on the show multiple times, and he flirts. Yeah, I'd love to. And then I even talked to him in person last year, and then no response. But hey, he's a busy guy, I'm sure. And he lives in cool Richmond, so he's a cool guy. Split and Slices, nice to have you here, Byron. Howdy, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Thursday Night Knives, ! Well, good to have you here, Byron. Can't go to Blade 2024. Just pick out something you like, and I'm sure it'll suffice. You got it, sir. I'm going with a giant, just like a giant suitcase. I'll pay double for it, and I'm bringing stuff back for all of you, including sword XXXY. However, I can't get you a sword, sir. Bag's not big enough. Good day, Bob, Jim, and Junkies. Well, good day to you, sir. Sword, I don't think I knew you were in Australia, but from good day, I have to assume you are. So good day. Frankie Frank. Oh, yes, we talked about the Matt Walsh thing last week. Frankie Frank says, howdy, Bob, Jim, and gentlemen. It would be truly amazing if I could go, but unfortunately, I have to work that weekend. But anybody live streaming it by chance, I suppose, for the people that can't attend, I'm sure Casey will have something from there, as will I. Mine will not be live streamed. Mine will go out on Sunday as per usual, but it will include interviews and cool shots of great knives from the past 2 days. Miranda says, or Rainey says, if I went to Blade, I'd swoop a Rosie. Oh, if Oz is there, or something exotic and unique. So I'm not sure if he will be there. I don't think he was there last year, and I'm pretty sure he's not having a table full of Rosies or Roosevelts there. But there's so many. And he's awesome, tremendous. I'd love to talk to him, and I've only experienced one Roosevelt, and it was awesome. But there are so many great knife makers there. There are booths and booths and booths, and then there's a whole farm of tables. You just go back and forth, wending your way back and forth, and there's so many great, unique things. I'm sure you could find something. Split and Slices says, a global hi to all. And those heading to Blade, safe travels, empty wallet coming home. No doubt, sir. It took me a few years to realize, don't spend any money in the months coming up. Edgy American, how you doing, Shane? Good to have you. My internet is out, and I've realized I'm not ready for the apocalypse. Well, then how the hell are you talking to me, man? It seems like your internet is pretty robust for being out. Bob, in case you weren't aware, Cheeto changes his name weekly. I just anchor onto the Cheeto part and trust that it's the same guy. So yeah. Pete Davidson says UKSF is the modern interpretation of FS Dagger. Oh, Fairbairn Sykes Dagger. Not sure of the date on the Gerber secondhand, but it looks 80s serialized number. Okay, let me ask you, Pete, do you have a trouble with rust on that? Because I have a Gerber Mark I with the serrations on both sides from like deep, dark mid 80s. I was in high school, early high school. It was in a Sharper Image catalog, and I asked for it for Christmas, and my parents got it for me. My mom got it for me, and I've always loved that knife. I broke the Quillian off learning how to throw knives, which was upsetting. Like it still is to this day. But I've never been able to keep the rust at bay. No matter what I do to it, I just cannot keep the rust at bay. And at this point, it's like it's almost crumbled. But I love it. I hold on to it. It's on the bookshelf out there on top of the classics. Stephen Clayton Jr., nice to have you here, sir. Good evening, everyone. Stephen is our resident T-Kel knives expert. We have a number of collectors here, but I've got to say he carries the most on a daily basis. Gary Jarosky, nice to have you here, sir. Picked up a Les George Mark III. I love that. I would love to have that. Guaranteed you won't be sorry. Oh, pick up a Les George. I will. I can't say I will, but I would love to. How about that? Stephen Clayton says, my son Joey and I will be at Saturday session. Oh, very nice. All right. So this is what my daughter almost was coming because I promised her she could when she was 13 going on 14. She turns 14 at the end of June. But this year she graduates 8th grade and all the parties are happening that weekend. So next year she'll come. And I said, we will not break for lunch. We are walking for 12 hours. Like we're not breaking for lunch. Protein bars and apples suffice. I'm shooting videos, uploading. You're my camera girl now. Like it will be, I know, Dad, it's cool. It's cool, Dad. I'm like, I'm not even talking about getting a slice of pizza. I'm talking like, we're not stopping. She's down. Well, she says she will be, but whatever happens, we'll be breaking for lunch and I'll let you know where we are. Pacific Vagabond. I like the name and well, good to have you here, Pacific. Hey, everyone, he says. Well, hi to you, sir. That sounds cool. Just roaming up and down the Pacific coast. Jesse, evening all, he says. Well, evening to you, sir. The crow pecking out the eyes on the skull. Edgy American, Bob, my YouTube career is over. They banned me for being a heathen. Can't tell me nothing. Shane, I don't believe it. I believe you will be back because they've done this before. Shane speaks his mind, but they can't take his First Amendment. Well, maybe they can now. I don't know. We're living in a new country all of a sudden. Yikes. Edgy American says, Oz does not need marketing. No, he does not. Much different from other knife marketing companies. Well, yeah, that's true. Like there are some companies, Chris Reeve Knives, Roosevelt, a relatively new maker that doesn't need it. It's pretty cool. There are a bunch of knife companies, I would say. Emerson, like, where do you see any of these people? We're their marketers, for God's sake. Jeez. Pens and pen blades. Hey, everyone. It's good to have you here, sir. I was telling him about my Twisby Echo. He set me straight on the name of this. I couldn't remember. The whole thing isn't written on it, so I couldn't. Ginger Fisher, 75. Nice to have you here. Salutations, folks. Salutations to you, sir. You put up the Malocchio or the what is that? The Cornuto, which fights off the Malocchio. Evil Eye. Pens and Pen Blade says, have you tried a Vapo Rust? No, I have not. I'm not sure what that is. A Vapo Rust sounds like two different things. Like coming from you, I'm expecting you to ask if I've tried a cool pen, but then a Vapo Rust sounds like some sort of solvent. I'm not sure. Five Door says Jim is going to need a pay raise sorting out the chat. Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Fed Harrison, nice to have. Oh, Fed, I've already greeted you, sir. Bob, I changed my logo and name. I'm Ed Harrison. Oh, okay. All right. Well, I guess I should have figured that out. But sometimes a little slow on the uptake. Because every time I saw Ed Harrison, I was like, oh, Ed Harrison. Jackson Pollock? I like that guy. Pete Davidson, no rust on the Gerber. Okay, thank you. Got a Guardian with most of the coating worn off of the blade, and no rust either. Wiped down with oil and carrying seems to work. The Guardian is a cool one too. A good friend of mine used to have that one. Rainey says Microtech will probably be there with some new goodies. Well, they will most definitely be there with a giant island of new goodies. And this is the thing, Miranda, I've been wondering, like, am I going to do, usually I'm not aiming for anything commercial, but this year, since I've been so into Microtechs all year, not all year long, for the past 3 months, I'm thinking I'm going to spend some money over there. And whether it's a large Hera or a Cypher, or I don't know, one of the new ones without the play will probably be way too much expensive. Oh, okay. A Vapor. Oh my God, I'm such a dumb shit. Thank you, Penza. You were talking about the rust. Got you. Thank you. Sorry. In one ear, out the other. Chris Lopez. Nice to have you here, Chris. Hello, Bob and Knifers. And he throws up some signs. Good to have you here, man. Knife Delights has used it to get rust off traditional knives. Ooh, okay. Knife Delights. I don't know Knife Delights, so I'm gonna get to know Knife Delights. Thank you very much. Pete Davidson, camellia oil, the flower, works wonders for rust prevention. Oh, okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I've had rust. This is something different. This is, maybe the batch was just bad. Maybe it was like rebar or something, because it rusts like I don't know, rusts way more than neglected 1095 or anything like that. It's crazy. Next show, I'll unearth it and I'll show you what I mean. Byron says, wait, no splitting slices at blade with the daughter. No go, junkie. Capiche? Yeah, capiche. Oh, capito, sir. Yep. Not this year, but she's, man. Yep, both my daughters, they really got their heads on straight, and I, at a young age, and I appreciate it. Of course, the younger one still has a little bit more. Well, they both have plenty to prove, so to speak. I don't mean it that way, but my older daughter has definitely got her head on straight, and the younger one is looking like when the flights of fancy begin to dissipate more, she will emerge with her head on straight as well. Five Door Bob Hinderer is teasing a new blade. Yeah. Best guess is hollow grinds. Yeah, well, hollow grinds, for machines, they got to get special machines to CNC hollow grinds, and they've been resistant, obviously, for a long time, because if they're going to hollow grind anything, it would have been the Sponto, if you ask me. Or one of the like Harpoon Tontos, but they haven't thus far. And I do know on the custom knives, those kind of things, those kind of bevels were hollow ground. So yeah, maybe that's true. But I feel like I've seen something recently. It's a new automatic from them, and it's not. I know Emerson has the new automatic Elvia and a whole little automatic wing that I'm excited about. But something Hinderer, I feel like I've seen something. And now I'm not remembering. Seems logical. Nice to have you here, sir. Going to Blade Show, get yourself a kukri. Ooh, yes. I wouldn't mind a new kukri. I wouldn't at all. I'll have to see what comes up. For me, the coolest kind of kukri right now would be something a bit of a hybrid from an American maker. Will B says, Microtech will have their new Zero Blade Play OTF there. Also, I think Grimsmo will have their new knife. I have never seen Grimsmo there. I don't think I've missed them. I mean, I really walk the whole place like a lot. Okay, Dave says, okay, find me an LUDT Gen 3. They're out everywhere. I look. Nope. I'm sorry. Okay, let me start this from the top. I'm testing the point of this. I stabbed myself and I lost track. Okay, so OG Blades, Dave says, okay, find me an LUDT Gen 3. That's the latest Gen 3 LUDT from Microtech. They're out everywhere I look. Nope, don't like the earlier ones, but had the first gen sometime in the 90s. Well, it's fine that you don't like the earlier ones because you certainly won't find those. Gen 3, that's just a matter of time, Dave. They'll be pumping those out. But I bet the ones that they've pumped out most recently, they're saving to bring to Blade Show, no doubt. Curious, would you get the raw aluminum in keeping with your recent acquisitions? Paul Mills, nice to have you here, Paul. Hollow ground hinderer, I'm sold, he says. Yeah, that would be sweet, especially because, well, like my Sponto, I had hollow ground by Josh over at Razor Edge, and it's great now. I love it. Josh Worth, nice to have you here, Joth. Eclipse Automatics, is that true? Is that real? You're like, yeah, man, I'm not lying. That makes sense. Eclipse Automatics. That's, I think, what it was, because I told you it was an automatic for sure. Dave says, as a rust inhibitor, I've found Flitz ceramic gun sealant on blades and lasts for months. And even tried it on utility knives in pocket for a month last summer. No rust. That's awesome, Dave. That's a great tip. Flitz ceramic gun, what was that? Flitz ceramic gun sealant, I believe. There it is. Yeah. Flitz ceramic gun sealant. I love Flitz just for polishing, just the regular stuff, but that's a great tip. Thank you, sir. Help with Gadgets. Good to have you here, sir. Hello, folks. He says, well, hello to you, sir. Help with Gadgets. Will B says, Grimsmo doesn't normally go. I saw a video a couple of months ago where John was there. Oh, that's cool. I look forward to introducing myself. Maybe I can get them suckers on this show. I'd love to talk to them. I know they had a very public sort of rise to prominence through R&D on and building on YouTube and kind of figuring it out in public. Kind of cool. Shane says, I'm only interested in knife scale materials this year. Like what? What do you okay, so what are the materials? Are you someone who eschews natural materials like wood and bone and that kind of thing? I know bone doesn't tend to be that big, but I'll have an Agent 001 after Blade Show, says Steven. Yes, sir. I look forward to that. I look forward to you having that in your pocket check. Josh Worth says Eclipse automatics are number one. Are 100% a thing. All right, sweet. So I had an Eclipse Tonto that I let go. I didn't let it go. I sold it to get something else and have kind of regretted it. So maybe this is my opportunity at redemption. Pen and Pen Blade says Frog Lube is good too for rust prevention. I've heard of Frog Lube, have never used it or exposed myself. Before we get to Pocket Check, let me show you what I have out today. I'm feeling moved. So I have my Tomahawk and my old school Bowie here with the anonymous bone handle on it. Who knows what kind of bone it is? Hopefully it's cow. And this combination is just such a great basic combination for all sorts of, I don't know, traditional sort of combat applications. So I'm going to move them aside before we get to this part of the show that I love to do. And that part of the show, you know, as the Pocket Check. Today in my front right pocket, because it's been out on the table, and ever since I shot my recent show about yesterday's supplemental, showing my off-grid knives, my favorite off-grid knives, Scorpion, I kind of forgot about the Scorpion, I gotta say. This one was always reminiscent to me of a Microtech SOCOM, a little bit. And today I saw it on the table as I was putting other stuff away, and I decided to carry it. I love this knife, and I had used this one for a while, for so long that the edge had gotten a little worn down. So I had my Spyderco Stone with me, put an edge on it during my lunch at work, and this thing is razor sharp, and I love it. S35VN, I think now they're M390. This one was made by Wee Knife Company. Now they're made by either Best Tech or from their Taiwanese manufacturer. This one has that old school basket weave carbon fiber inlays. Now, I believe it's some sort of marbled burl sort of carbon fiber. It's a little dirty. I used it actually during cooking tonight at dinner. Not for the main cutting, but just to open up some packages. All right, next up on me today, I had the mini Cyborg Jack. I love this thing. The mini version of the Ben Belkin original pattern, the Cyborg Jack, sort of like a sow belly with its overall curve and arc in the handle, yet heavily angled and faceted. And even though it's angled, it's very comfortable in hand. And then that blade to me is a very unique styled clip point blade, sort of like a Lanny's clip, almost like a Tonto in a strange way. A new favorite of mine. Let me just show you real quick. This thing, here it is with the original Cyborg Jack. So substantially smaller, I'd say. I think at first I was like, it's not that much smaller, but it kind of is. And then here it is with the Little Bro Jack. So it's about the same size as the Little Bro, which has had 2 releases so far in its lifespan here. To me, it's the perfect size slip joint. I love all Jack Wolf knives, and this is a great knife, but I gotta say, for slip joints, I tend to like the smaller knives a little bit better. So digging the new Cyborg Jack. Let me put this down. Let's see. Oh, next up, another. Let's see. So Chaz Fisher of Fisher Blades sent me their unicorn edition of their Beckwith Covert in a very handsome sort of gunmetal gray coating and white liners. Otherwise, the same knife as the one you've been seeing a lot recently, and from me and from plenty of others. He has sent this out far and wide and has gotten a lot of good marketing from folk who like this kind of thing. And actually that downward angle and secondary point work really well. I actually put a scratch on this one, unfortunately, proving that to myself today. So I had this on me. And then lastly, I had the Dylan Mallory design Civivi Hadros. Dylan Mallory has a brand new knife out with Artisan that looks so nice. He's such a good designer, and I think his knives are very, I don't know, they just hit the right chord with me. They've got the right combination of simple and size and elegance. And this new one from Artisan, man, it looks so nice. I'd love to have Dylan on the show. Asked him a number of times. He's not so into it. So, but he's a great guy and just doesn't like talking about his knives publicly with me, I guess. But someday I'll break through, and he's probably getting sick of me asking him. So this is what I had on me. What'd you have on you? Today it was the Civivi Hadros, the Unicorn Edition Beckwith Covert, the mini Cyborg Jack, and the, what is this? The Scorpion from Off Grid Knives. A really nice titanium Off Grid knife. What'd you guys have on you? Let me know. Let me know in the comments below. And then Jim will float them up on the screen. Put this stuff out of the way so I don't cut myself. I have been carrying these Delicious Fist very light composite knuckle dusters for quite some time recently. I love these things. Been carrying them around. They get lost in the pocket and they fit the hand so perfectly. So I'm going to go to Copus Designs. It's going to be one of my first stops at Blade Show, and I'm going to get a brass version of these. They fit me so well. I want a heavy version. I like these light ones. They're great. You could really do some whatever you want to do with knuckle dusting. You could do that with this, no doubt. But a little bit of weight would also be nice behind this. This is great for raking and these kind of like, you don't have to alter your fist at all with this thing. Another thing, we are going to do a giveaway tonight of this Rosecraft blades. What's this one called? This is the Joka. That's right. The Joka Thanks to OG Blades. Thank you, OG Blades, for donating this to a lucky viewer through me. We will give this away around 11 o'clock if Jim keeps me honest. All you got to do is drop hashtag knife, or pound symbol knife, pound knife in the comments. It's a clip point blade you see when you hold it upside down. And then at 11 o'clock, if you've done that, hashtag knife, you will be entered to win this thing. It is cool. D2 steel, super sharp, nice action. It's got sort of a doctor's knife feel in that it is sort of got the parallel spine and belly and flat bottom. Really nice. Rosecraft Joka will be given away at 11 p.m. So put hashtag knife in the comments to win it. You could win it, carry it, keep it. You could win it, trade it for food after the apocalypse. You could win it, sell it. You could win it, give it to your employee or employer to get points. You do whatever you want with it. Frankie Frank, nice to have you here, Frank. You're like, dude, you greeted me like 3 times. Carried the Cold Steel Code 4 Tonto today. Sleek and does the job when you're working events. Very nice. What do you mean by when you're working events? What does that mean? And what kind of jobs do you do with that when you're working events? And I know that they're nicely hollow ground, the Code 4 Tonto. So I'm curious. Tell me what kind of events you work. And I'll greet you like I haven't seen you before. Wilby says, Olamic Soloist, Microtech Amphibian, Benchmade Rift, Wee Ziphius, Axial Shift, TKEL Nightstalker CQC, Olight Baton 3, and Karis Bolt V2 was a lighter carry day. That's funny. Just first of all, very nice carry. Second of all, when I saw that second line wasn't filled all the way to the end, I was like, oh, what's wrong with Will? Is he under the weather? He's like, not able to carry enough knives today. Autumn Wind, nice to have you here, Autumn Wind. Hello, all. Hello to you, sir. Presumably. Cheeto says, carried an AD-15 light, Baron Sons Barlow. Tell me about the Baron Sons Barlow. Is it good? They've been coming out with some really nice looking slip joints lately. And an Aries EDC Fixie, the Torchido. Ah, I like it. The Torchido. Very nice. Dave says, with me today was the North Mountain Shop 2 San Mai Tonto folder. So I saw that on your Instagram. Didn't have time to watch the YouTube video. Looks like an interesting and handsome knife. I've never heard of North Mountain. I'm very curious about that knife. I can't wait to watch the video. But very nice looking knife. Best Tech Raison Navaja. I love that one. That's the new K-Max. No, not K-Max from oh my gosh. Gregor Grabowski. I can't remember his Kombu. That's the new Kombu design based on Navaja. Very nice. Stitch Auto. Oh, Booze Blade Smoke 2. That's a older one, the M390. Older one meaning like 4 years. Civivi Synergy 4. Very nice. Love that one. That's bigger. And the Les George Galvo boot. Oh, with Wubin T4 tactical torch. All right. So this, as usual, Dave has a super classy carry with him. That new North Mountain Shop 2 San Mai Tonto is a looker for sure. And then Les George. I mean, Les George here. I have one of my favorite Les Georges out right here because I was carrying the VSEP the other day, past couple of days. I love this thing. He's such a great designer and maker. Excuse me. Stephen Clayton says, Remnant Alliance Scourge Mini Tonto. I'm sorry. Remnant Alliance Scourge Mini Tonto. That's how you say it. TKEL Knives Combatant, the Warthog, the TS87, that's the pry bar or screwdriver. FLN, he's got 3 of them. The Guardian Night Stalker Combat Grade, the FMF, that's the Frogman Tactical Knife. The Accomplice, not sure what that one is. The MR1, that's the Marine Raider Pikal one. And the Regiment Blades Colonel Blade, very nice. Midgard's Messer Mini Axe. Stephen Clayton always has a really well-rounded carry, and often, like always, with lots of decal knives. Very nice. Gary Jarosky says, right now I'm carrying the Olamic Rainmaker. Olamic's an interesting company. Very, very high output customs, or what would you call that? I'm not sure. What kind of company are they? They do custom stuff, but it's not like you tell them what you want. But everything is different and unique. KC says, had the Concept Fenrir and the Tempest Downdraft Proto. Ooh, the Downdraft. We want to see. And anything from Concept, I love Concept. Help with Gadget says, Keenison Basset Hound. Love Keenison knives. Kaiser October Tie and the Kaiser Groom. Trying to see if I like fixed blades for EDC. Oh, interesting. I can't say I know the Groom, but I think it's probably pretty small. I wouldn't assume when trying on a fixed blade for EDC that you should go like totally small. Pedro Armstrong. Howdy. Pedro, good to have you here, sir. Howdy, right back. Sean Weiss. Nice to have you here, Sean. Just got my Lamia Gen 4 still in box. Well, what are you waiting for, man? So that's another so Alex Steingraber. Now, he might differ. I don't know. I haven't spoken with him in quite some time, but he's another guy who doesn't seem to need marketing. People know him, and his work is coveted. I have the Shark from him, but that Lamia folding knife just takes the cake. It's so beautiful. Congratulations on your acquisition, sir. Pens and Pen Blade says, was at home all day, so nothing in pockets. Should get the habit of carrying around house. Absolutely. I mean, this is the kind of shit, this kind of stuff I carry around the house like this. No, that's not true. Only because I don't want to seem like too much of a dork to my wife. She likes that I carry knives. She actually likes that I carry fixed blades on a daily basis. Thinks it's cool. But if I walked around the house with this, she'd call me a dork, and rightly so. Be like playing, cosplaying Commando. But you should always have something on you around the house, if not to be the hero. I can cut that for you, darling. To never be unarmed, as Lynn Thompson would say. So plenty of great pajama / gym shorts / running shorts knives out there. And maybe I should do a video on that. Paul Mills, nice to have you here, Paul. Bob, have you checked out the mini SOCOM Bravo? Yes, I have. Reich is heat treating. Oh, I'm sorry. Reich is heat treating those better than Microtech. Brian at Transparent Knives, Rockwall tested the M3 knife at 61.2. Very nice. Damn good for a production. Yeah, no doubt. A lot of companies are squeamish about taking it to the limit because they're worried about brittleness or whatever. But that's pretty awesome. I have the large one. The only small SOCOM I want would be something from the 90s. Rainey says, carried the Microtech Ultratech double edge plain edge. Okay. Benchmade Hidden Canyon and my Leatherman Signal. So Ultratech double edge plain edge. I have the Ultratech double edge, but the top is serrated. And when I first got it, I was kind of bummed out about it, but that was, I was getting it for less on the secondary market. But since having it, I've actually grown to really like it. And recently I've been going off about how much I like serration. So it's nice to have a whole other side. And you might find with the Ultratech, when you flip it upside down, it almost feels better in a standard grip. Using the finger, using the actuator switch as the forefinger guard, and then the forward jimping as the thumb ramp. So just flipping it. Craig Vincent, good to have you here, Craig. The 8101, 8010. Oh, so 8010 ground in Italy. What is that? Is that a misprint? Because it's the Formax that they have ground in Italy. So 8010, Raja 2, Bush Ranger, Holdout XL, the SR1, the Enchmade Presidio 2. That must be a clone. New Breed, Clydesdale, Kaiser Grazioso, QSP Hedgehog Queen Big Chief. Okay, I don't know that last one. And of course, I'm joking about the Inchmade Presidio. Presidio is a great knife. Hold on. I wanted to, while you were listing all your cold steels, right before I started rolling, or Jim started rolling, I put the Talwar XL in my pocket because I have to take out my pocket check knives to have on the desk. So I have to have something in my hand. And or my pocket. This thing is so fucking cool. Excuse the French tonight, people. Joseph S. says, Spyderco Manix 2, Tenacious, TKL Night Stalker, combat grade. We have 2 people in the audience with a Night Stalker, and I happen to have one, right? Yeah. QSP Hedgehog and OG. Oh, that's it. And the QSP Hedgehog. This is the TKL Knives Night Stalker, his most sellingest. I know that's not the right way to say it, but the knife they sell the most at TKL Knives. I love this thing. When I designed the Agent 001, I wanted it to fit in this profile, including the ring, because I like carrying this one so much. So I wanted it to kind of have the same dimensions, and it does. Not the same height dimensions, but the same handle length, stem to stern, and then, or I should say, ring to ricasso, and then blade, same measurements. I can't wait to get my hands on that. Here's the 3D print that will have to hold me for now. 5-Door says DSK Javelina. DSK. Oh, DSK. What's DSK? Javelina. Strider PT. Very nice. And GEC 56. DSK. I know who that is, and I haven't seen his stuff in a long time. Very, very big titanium tactical stuff. DSK. Remind me who DSK is, please. Pacific Vagabond says, I had my Benchmade Claymore today. That's a cool one out the front. I like, Benchmade makes good automatics. Autumn Wind says, the Spyderco Stovepipe and the so that's the one, Stovepipe is, it'll come to me. And the Berg Mini Barber. Oh, love that knife. Hoping to snag a Sweeney tomorrow. So I think the Sweeney is the larger version of the Barber. And of course, named after Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street from the musical Sweeney Todd from the 70s. About a barber who kills people with a nice big razor. And when he's shaving them, and then cooks them into pies and eats them. My parents were into it. I don't know. They were pretty straight ahead, but I guess in the 70s, they liked cannibal musicals, I guess. When they had to do with hairdressing, I guess. Angry Tom's Hat Next Door. Nice to have you here, Angry Tom. Today I have my Hogue X5 button lock and my Case Sodbuster Halloween version. Oh, that sounds awesome. 2023 in my coffin leather slip, just for the heck of it. October is my favorite month. So is that coffin leather slip? Is that one made by Duty's Daggers? Just curious. Pacific Vagabond says that knife is really cool, so fingers crossed. Hey, man, I hope you get it. Fingers crossed. Pat D's Nuts says, had my Asher Fixie as usual, and my new Hinderer Project X. Okay, I want a Project X. Still, even after a year or so, or however long that thing has been out, I still kind of want one. I don't know. Something soured me about buying a new Hinderer, though, I got to say. But I do like that Project X. Oh, speaking of which, maybe you're the one who soured me from buying a new Hinderer. Shane says, just a pair of 3 again today. My Manix should be home tomorrow. So you're getting new scales for the Manix, right? And the pair of 3 is awesome. And Shane, I know Shane has really zeroed in on his love for Spyderco due to their heat treat and blade geometry. And variety of steels. Kevin Lamb, nice to have you here, Kevin. Spyderco Sliverax, Microtech SOCOM Bravo. Man, that's a nice combination. The Sliverax, which one was that? Goofy name, but I remember it being a cool knife. I just can't remember what it was. It came out a couple of years ago. Sliverax. Remind me of who the designer is, and that will help. Cheeto says, dang, I should have named it the Torcheeto. Oh, yeah, the Torcheeto. Well, there's still time every week, right? Pedro Armstrong, haven't left the house, so haven't carried anything. I did a SOG PowerPoint into I did get a SOG Power Pint, not PowerPoint, thank God, in today. Okay, I don't know what the Power Pint is. I have a feeling it's some sort of multi-tool from SOG that will open up beers. But even if you're at home and you're within arm's reach, this is what I think. Here, I'll just, hey, Todd, nice to have you here. Evening, everyone. Evening to you, Todd Carr. So at nighttime, there are a couple of evenings per week where my wife and I both have nothing to do in the evenings, and we sit down and we'll watch a movie and, of course, fold laundry. That's part of it. We do have 2 girls, so we're always folding laundry, or sometimes I just do socks, to be honest. But anyway, even when we're sitting there and I have a full-on armory around me, like I'll have stuff on the arm of my chair. I'll have a knife, and I'll have a knife over on the little side table here, featured knife of the evening that I can pull out and paw. But I always think, what if someone just burst through the window or burst down the stairs or burst up the stairs and presented themselves in this room, and I just am not in a position. Maybe I'm getting up, coming back from the bathroom. Maybe I'm getting a drink, something, and I'm not in a position. I'm not positioned closely to the knives I have laid out around me. I always have one in my pocket. I don't care what the situation. The only time I don't have one in my pocket is in bed, and I've gone to bed with a knife in my pocket. And do not do that. It could end so badly for you. It really could. I'm so conscious of that. There have been a few times I've gone to bed, maybe 3 sheets to the wind, and I've woken up the next day and I'm like, oh, damn, I have a knife in my pocket. So like that is a priority. But other than that, always have a knife in your pocket. I don't care what you're wearing or what you're doing or how early it is, or if you're napping on the couch or whatever it is, just have one in your pocket. Kevin Lamb says, just got notified that my Crew Card of Mannix 2 has shipped. Woohoo! He's got a big happy face there. Reverend Hollander? I'm going to say Reverend. Good to have you here, sir. A Benchmade Otto Osborne and a UK 2-bladed traditional knife. Oh, okay. I was thinking a UK Spyderco 2-bladed. I was like, what is this magic? But I love UK knives. At least I've had a few, and the ones that I see Patty showing off, I love. So I'm curious what the brand is for your multi-bladed Europe English knife. Frankie says, by the way, no worries. It's always a pleasure greeting you, Jim, and the rest of the pack on here. I appreciate you all. Well, we appreciate you, man. Jeff W says, my EDC, Jeff, a pleasure, sir. Is that Goofy or Mickey? My EDC is the Turner. Oh, what a heavy flex. The Turner CNC Elvia V1 and V2, and the Shivworks Shiv Pick single edge and double edge. So you have a thing against Pickall style blades, I see. Riot Exo U, Krakatool Zwerg. I'm not sure what that is. Brother 1506. I know that's a slip joint, and Leatherman Skeletal. But wait. So you carry both a Turner CNC Elvia V1 and V2. So I've experienced both, and they both come from Jock's knives, and I've checked out his, and they are both so sweet, so cool. I especially love the V2, not only the size but the sheath on the V2 I like better than the V1. But all that said, very, very nice carry, man. Stephen Clayton says, I also have the Crudo SD5 and the TKL Gideon V3 on its way. So Crudo knives, always very interesting, always very tactical. Very interesting knives. I think the only ones I've ever seen have been folders. They all kind of wave open. They're all definitely meant for fighting. So very interesting there. And then you have something else on the way. The Gideon on the way. That's a nice one. That's a ringed knife, also done with it's a collaboration between TKL and Frogman Tactical. I think it was their first collaboration. So it's similar to this, but it has a different blade. Very nice looking knife. Josh Worth says McNeese Mac 2 3.5 is today's carry. McNeese, McNasty, there was a guy. I got to do some research on this guy. World War II, he was like the leader of the Filthy 13, I think they were called, or something like that. And there were some badasses, and he had a mohawk and wore war paint and scared the crap out of everybody and did a lot of good killing for the Allies. But I don't know much about him. But I know his last name was McNeese, and he went by McNasty. Who knows about that? I'm sure plenty of you out there know about that. Mark Salva, nice to have you here, Mark. Enjoy the knife show, all you lucky junkies. Yeah, it's so crazy. You know what? I was just remembering an aspect about last year and was thinking, wow, that was a year ago. That does not feel that long ago. Jeff W says, brother 1506, best $22 ever. Brother Knives, again, that's a knife company that I've only really experienced through the Patty's Potato Peelers channel. So yeah, I look forward to checking that out. He's awesome. Renee Ramon, good to have you here. What's up, y'all? Well, what's up with you, sir? I see your lightsaber, scotch and things. Sup, gang? Carried the John Gray Thuck today. This is another guy who, just from following him on Instagram, dude, you've got a collection that is right up my alley. I admire it greatly. Nicely done, sir. Pete Davidson, watching your Wingard videos inspired me to make my own battle club. How are you going? How's it going with the dick pic? I have it right here. I got to be honest, with the dick pic, I carry this in my bag more than on my person. I have it set up so that it, like I would a push dagger. So it goes in the waistband like this, very shallow, because any but down like that, it's aiming in my appendix, right into the family jewels. I don't need that disruption. So I have it so that it's as shallow as possible across the belt. And then this hangs down across the belt and I can pull it out and use it. But most of the times I just have it in my bag and I carry it with me and always have it with me. And then when I get to work, if I get to work, I'll take it out and I'll put it on my desk and I'll cover it with a piece of paper or with a notebook or something. And I know it's there, but it's not out in the open to, freak anyone out or get anyone to be like, oh, what's this? Oh, by the way, first legit use of this was to hammer a small brad into some drywall just to hang a little sign in our kitchen. But it worked great. I did find that the tip is so damn sharp here that I ended up putting it back in the sheath. Turned it this way and then knocked it like this. Knocked it light enough that it didn't jostle it from the sheath. Worked great. This thing is awesome. I love it. I like the menace of it, but realistically speaking, it's a great do-all tool. Todd Carr says Leatherman Surge plus accessories, Gerber dime and shard, Cold Steel 8010, and American Lawman. You remember who used to do that? SOG Ultra XR, fifth pocket, Artisan Sea Snake, Olight i3T, and Open Mini Rovivon A3 Forest Hank. Oh my God. Todd, you're killing me. Or maybe I'm just slowing down, but that way. Olight i3T and Open Mini Rovivon A3 and a Forest Hank. That's not all one thing. Got it. All right. 8010 and American Lawman. I had an American Lawman back in the old day when it was a little bit thicker than it is now, and back when it was hollow ground. And of course, I sold it. I even stripped off all the crappy, whatever the paint was they used to put on their AUS 8, revealing a beautiful stonewash finished hollow ground blade, and I still sold it. You sell stuff to get stuff. That's true. Edgy American says, you will certainly never get a soft heat treat from Edgy American. I don't expect we will, sir. What's going on with you, Shane, and your knife making pursuits? Let us know. I know you're working on, well, I don't know anything. Just remind me of what you're doing. Pocket Razors. Nice to have you here, Pocket Razors. Evening, everyone. I like your name. I'd love to have a pocket razor. Brian F. What's up, Knife Fam? Hey, Bob. Well, Brian F., good to have you here, man. Hey to you. Is that Brian Falco? Oh, maybe I shouldn't say your whole name. Well, Brian, if it's you, good to have you here, man. Renee Ramon, what's hashtag knife hashtag about? First time catching live. Okay, we're giving away a free knife tonight. It's the Rosecraft Joka. It's a cool kind of gentleman's clip point blade, but by gentleman, it's still pretty big. It's about a 3.5-inch blade. G10 with a faux bolster here, liner lock, excellent action, deep carry pocket clip. This was donated by OG Blades, This Old Sword, formerly This Old Sword Blade Reviews, Dave. And we're giving this away at 11, coming up shortly. Hashtag knife. That's all you have to do to put that in the comments. I will mail it to you. You can do whatever you want with it. Well, not whatever you want with it, but you can do most things that you want with it, including sell it, give it away, keep it in the car, keep it in your pocket, keep it in your personal collection. I think it's a handsome knife. It's super sharp, D2 blade steel. It's a nice, it could be your church knife, or it could be your everyday work knife. You can do anything. If you watch Scab, if you know Choir Boy's Cutlery, and he takes every knife that comes across his desk and he puts it through the hardest rigors. He's been doing that a lot with Benchmade knives, slip joints, and their modern folders like this. And he does, he's cutting sandblaster cable tube with it, all sorts of stuff. These knives are super robust, way more than you might think. So anyway, you can do whatever you want with it. Hashtag knife. And then at 11 o'clock, we'll take a look at who's going to get it. Angry Tom says, good evening from Seattle. I'm loving Jack Wolf from any cyborg EDC excellence. What? Hang on. Angry Tom, let me just reread that. Good evening from Seattle. I am loving my Jack Wolf from any cyborg EDC excellence. All right. I think I'm picking up what you're putting down. I, too, love the EDC, or the new mini cyborg. And I'm not sure if mini cyborg. I'm not sure if you like this better than the big one, but I think I do. Casey says, gotta run, folks. Good stuff, Bob and Jim. Casey, pleasure seeing you. I'll see you at Blade Show in Atlanta in 2 weeks. And who knows? I can't wait to see what you have on your table. And hopefully I get something. Get to add to my Tempest knives collection. Have a fine evening, sir. Chris Lopez says, carried my 1983 Imperial Barlow. Very nice. QSP Mamba 2, Mamba V2, and the Real Steel Munyan. It seems like that first N should have an Enye. Munyan. I don't know. I don't think I know that one. But that 83 Imperial Barlow sounds awesome. I don't think I have an Imperial in my slip joint collection. Jeff W. says, I only go to Blade Show West. It's closer, and that means cheaper, and cheaper means I get more knives. Yeah, I hear that. I was a little late on the draw with my hotel room, but I got a hotel in the place I wanted to that has a little sky bridge, and you're right there. You don't have to take an Uber or anything like that to get to and fro. I can just go, because after 12 hours of wandering the aisles of Blade Show and doing interviews and stuff, I like to go back to the hotel, calm down, chill out, whatever, take my notes. I got a lot of notes I got to write down after meeting all those people, and then go back out and meet up with people at the pit and do all that stuff. So I don't like to have to Uber around. So this year I got, even though I waited, I still got a room in that place. It's not cheap though. But then again, you get what you pay for. Paul Mills says, I carried the Evo 3.0 and my trusty bug out. Dude, that the Evo, there's a new 4.0. Does that mean it's larger? I know it's the 4th iteration of that absolutely gorgeous knife by Rotten Designs. It's still made by Custom Knife Factory, right? But is the 4.0, is it just me, or does it look stretched out? That would be awesome. If it were larger, then it would be a moral imperative. I would have to get that knife. Mark Salva says, Best Tech Ostap Hell Strelet. That's from his Bouquet series. The Wee Banter and the wee banter, and the Kershaw live wire. I just saw the Kershaw, very nice carry, by the way. I love the Strellet. I have that in my collection. Cool little knife. Talk about a deceptive. That's one of those knives that, what is it? Fairbairn? Was it Colonel Fairbairn or who was it? There's a famous story where one of those guys, I think it was Fairbairn, was kidnapped and handcuffed and taken out into the Mexican desert. This is a guy who had worked security in China, in Shanghai. I'm pretty sure that was Fairbairn. Anyway, and he had a tiny little pocket knife, probably something like this, little case. And he took a 2-inch blade and cut the throat or the carotid. Should be careful of the guy that had him captive and killed the dude with a tiny knife. And I love that story. I'm assuming it's true, and until someone comes up to me and proves to me that it's not true, I'm going to believe it, and I love it. And there is power in even the smallest, tiniest little knife if you have the will to use it and maybe some knowledge behind that. Angry Tom says, I got my leather coffin slip from EDC Leatherworks. I love the shape of the coffin shaped slips, especially for certain, more symmetrical knives. But the slip joints are never going to be symmetrical, even the ones that approximate that. Pens and Pen Blade says the Power Pint is a small Leatherman-like tool. Okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Nick Martino, good evening, Nick. How you doing, man? Been a while. Good to see you. I've seen you in the comments. It's good to have you here. I sold Nick an M4 bladed Spyderco Yojimbo 2 Blade HQ exclusive a few years ago. I regret that, but I like knowing that it's in good hands. I know Nick loves that knife. You son of a bitch. Will B says, I don't go anywhere without a knife. I have at least one under my pillow. Will B, that warms the cockles of my heart. I don't know if I can endorse the knife under the pillow, but I certainly am not you, and I'm not living in your circumstances. In mine, probably wouldn't go over so well, though. You don't know. I have a very cool wife, but for me, I do a lot of tossing and turning. I'm always moving my pillow, and I actually fluff my pillow while I'm sleeping. That drives my wife nuts. Get it back fluffy. So a knife under there would probably be a problem. Josh says, you just reminded me who designed that stovepipe. Kingdom Armory. Yes, that's right. So I did an interview with him. And of course, his name I'm forgetting right now. What a cool guy. He reminds me of, he's kind of like a, I don't know, but he's a former I think he made a lot of money in real estate. He's got a beautiful house. When I did the interview, he was in like his den, and I was just kind of like looking at the space behind him. And he's an artist. This guy's an artist. He's been through a lot, I think, in that other life, and then he retired or just gave that life up and is making knives full time. And they're so beautiful. And for a while, he was kind of on that treadmill where he was pumping out custom knives from books. And then once all of his books were done, he said, I'm not taking anyone's order, putting them on the books. Whatever I come out with, when it's done, I'll post it. Whoever wants it can have it or can buy it. Pete says, do you have to be, I'm sorry. Pete said, I'm sorry. This is not Pete. It's Pens. Pens says, you do have to be careful if you have a knife in your pocket if sleeping on the couch. Once I had a pocket clip snag because of laying on the couch. I can totally understand that. Totally imagine that happening. It's like you don't know until you've done it. And I've done a lot of stupid stuff. I've cut myself in a lot of really stupid ways. Isaiah Pavlik, nice to have you here, Isaiah. Knife in pocket while you sleep? Dang. You don't know. Isaiah, that's only ever been a mistake. Like I've been hanging out for hours before bed in whatever I'm going to bed in, and I've had a knife in my pocket and have forgotten to take it out, like with my phone and everything else. But no. I'm strongly suggesting not to have a pocket knife in bed. You wake up like the freaking Godfather when the dude wakes up with the horse head in his bed, and he's like, "Why am I wet?" Oh, it's blood. Oh, it's my blood. Oh shit. I mean, that could be your situation anyway. Todd Carr, I've fallen asleep a couple of times flicking a knife. So have I. That's so bad. Good thing I don't move in my sleep, shall we say. Yeah, I've done that before too. Kind of sitting there on the couch watching something. And then I'll wake up a minute later and I'm like holding a knife. I'm like, that is so stupid. So stupid. Or opening and closing while walking up and down stairs. Another thing I find myself doing. Like, what? You can't walk up and down the stairs for 2 seconds without entertaining yourself, by flipping a knife. What? If you're not flipping a knife, you're going to look at your phone. What are you, a 13-year-old girl? Jeff W. says, my Krokatool Sverg is my sleeping knife. Oh, my God. We have some weirdos here. I love you guys. Loyal group. The people who I have a shower knife. You have a sleeping knife. I love it. Loyal group. Good to have you here, Loyal group. If I get killed in my house by an intruder, there's about 110% chance it will be with one of my own knives. They're pretty much laying around in every room. I think of that too. Okay, so for the knives laying around, watch The Dogs of War. That's a movie that my brother and I have seen probably 40 times in the last 40 or so years. It's a great movie about, Christopher Walken plays a mercenary, old school, before mercenaries were a dime a dozen with your Black Rocks and your modern contractor agencies. So he was an old school mercenary, and he sets up an operation to invade Zangaro, an African country, for mineral rights or some such. But around his apartment, he lives in New York City, in his fridge, he's got a gun. In his little couch side drawer, he's got a gun, and he's got a gun here and there, but he keeps them, they're discreet. He hides them under things. So like that, if you have them around, but they're just hidden from sight or hidden in plain sight, I think that's a little better. But I am not a lawyer, certainly not. I am no what do you call it? Home invasion expert, certainly not. I would just spray the room. Make sure all the girls are behind me, and then spray the room, and hope no one walks out. Isaiah says, I always got my blades I'm going to use for that day or next. Isaiah, I don't recognize you. What's your wheelhouse? What kind of knives do you like? Like size? Are you a folder guy? Do you like big, fold, small? Angry Tom says, what is the name of the Swiss Army knife that only has one blade? Well, there are two. The smaller one, what is it? The 86 millimeter, 84 millimeter is called the Solo. And then the larger one that I have, that's 93 millimeters single blade, is called the Swiss Army 1. And then Byron of Split and Slices so graciously got me the Swiss Army 2, which has that same big main blade, but then the little hawkbill blade, and is out of print here in the United States. So grateful for that. That's called the Swiss Army 2. Very cool knife. Pete Davidson says Spyderco lockbacks are safe to sleep. Yeah, sure. Yeah, because they're hard enough to get out when you're awake. So yeah, I see that. Jake McNeese was Jake McNasty. Yes, the fat electrician did an excellent video on him. You could check it out. Okay, all right, cool. I will. I just heard a little profile on him on one of my podcasts on Memorial Day, but I don't remember where I heard it. But man, loved that story. Todd Carr, I keep an axe beside the bed. Estwing, Estwing, nice and heavy, but I always have a blade on me. Well, very good. 100%. I like that axe. I was just watching, my wife was out of town for a solid week, and I got a chance to watch 2 movies. By the time I'm done doing everything, I don't have time for movies most nights, but I watched Soup to Nuts, Taxi Driver. Love that movie. Seen it a million times. Haven't watched it in a long time. And Dogs of War, Soup to Nuts also. Can't remember why I brought up Taxi Driver, but I was going to mention something about it. Anyway, Rainey says, just recently got into OTFs. and picked up an Ultratech and Combat Troodon Gen 3. Very nice. The Troodon is amazing. Loving everything about it. Okay, so I have a regular Troodon. And when I bought it, the past generation before this new one came out, I bought it on the secondary market and I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, a Troodon. And for this price, and it's double-edged with the serration, because at this point I'd already liked the dagger with the half serration. I was so psyched, and I thought I was just like a miracle maker finding the deals. Like my mother-in-law, man, she can find deals on anything. I felt like her. I was like, I can't believe I found this price. And then it shows up, and it's the regular Troodon. I didn't realize the difference between combat and regular, and it turns out I actually didn't get a good price on the knife. I actually got a very mediocre price, probably not a great secondary price on the knife I got, but I still have it. I still love it. Still has its quirks. It makes sounds, and there's a reason why the guy sold it. And but man, I'm not envious, but I'm jealous of your Gen 3. Maybe I'll pick one up in 2 weeks. Pick one up. Maybe I'll just pick one up. No, I'll have to buy it, and a lot of money will go into it. That pickup thing, I hate when people say, I'm just gonna pick up a Hinderer. Oh yeah. All right, Mr. Moneybags. Isaiah says, currently got my Cold Steel Bushranger Light Swiss Pocket Spartan. Oh, okay. Spartan. I love the Spartan. And the multi-tool Ozark Trail. Okay, so I gave, first of all, Bushranger. Excellent choice. And I love the Spartan. That's a great all-around Victorinox. Ozark Trail was a great gateway knife for a cameraman at the place I work. I've kind of gifted almost everyone that I've worked with there, a knife, and some people more than one. And this one guy, I gave him an Ozark Trail, and it was pretty off the cuff. We had worked together. He did a great job, went above and beyond. I'm like, here, take this knife. I know you don't have one. And he took it and he loves it and kind of used it in the ground. And it's an Ozark Trail, so it didn't take him long. And I just replaced it with a really sweet like 940 sort of clone knife, and he loved it. So just keeping it going. Anfield Dragon, nice to have you here. Cheers from Northeast Georgia. Can't wait till I'm down in Georgia. See you at Blade Show. Going to purchase a Peltonen. A Peloton? Is that how you're getting there? Oh, what's a Peltonen? Let me know. All right. Do we have anyone? All right. Let's do this hashtag before I forget. Let's give this knife away. I have a tendency to start gabbing. I don't show you any knives, and I don't give anything away until it's too late. So let's give this sucker away. All right. Hashtag knife in the chat. I don't know how many you did this. Could be no one. Could be 3. Whatever it is, your chances are good. So Jim, shall we? And take a sip of this here water. All right. 46 entries. All right, let's do this. In 3, 2, and 1. Who will it be? Who will it be? This is killing me. It's killing me, literally. Todd Carr. Couldn't happen to a nicer guy. Todd Carr, this is your knife. This is the Rosecraft Joka. And I'm not joking. It's your Joka now. And this comes to me from, sorry, guys. This comes to me from Dave of OG Blades. So thank you so much, Dave. And thank you so much, Todd Carr, for entering to win this. Just so you know, everyone who's here, Dave has given me a bunch of knives to give away. Well, he certainly has over the years. But he recently gave me another box. So we're going to be giving away knives on Thursday Night Knives, somewhat regularly, saving the cream of the crop, of course, for the Gentleman Junkies. We have some special knives coming up, some from Liang Ma he'll be giving away, and look forward to that. Miranda says, get a Heretic Colossus in the mail tomorrow. Okay, so let me ask you, Rainey, do you have any Heretics already, and do you like them? What do you think of them? Are they total pieces of crap or are they super awesome? I know they're not pieces of crap. I think they're awesome. I've only had one Heretic. Dave actually owns that now. And then I saw the Knife Center video today showing their exclusive, what are they calling it? Banana something. It's an out the front curved knife that's banana themed. And it's a hawkbill blade. It looks very cool. Excuse me. Craig Vincent, The Filthy 13 was the inspiration for the Dirty Dozen movie. Yeah. What a great movie that was, too. Renee Ramon says, something obscene, LEC, Kubi Tidius, and Talia in Altum, and Chavez Sangre Street. Ooh, nice. That's kind of an afterthought, but that's a sweet one there. Something Obscene Company. What's LEK? LEK. Is that the... Anyway, I had the one Something Obscene Company knife on loan to me that I absolutely loved. Don't get old, people. Mark says, I managed to come up empty-handed on the last couple of Work Tough Gear drops. Easy to do. However, I scored the Kodiak A6 Max Satin Jungle Camel last night. Right on, Mark. Congratulations. That's really awesome. I want the V44. Oh, yeah. Basically based on this knife, the V44. Kraken Tactical EDC. Good to have you here, Kraken. Go check out Kraken Tactical on Instagram. He makes some really cool, as you might imagine, tactical knives. Go check him out. He had a cool Gnunting recently that was really right up my alley. Hey, guys, and Bob, looking forward to finally getting to meet you at Blade Show. Awesome. Okay. I don't know what you look like, Kraken. I know what your knives look like. But you know what I look like, so come up and introduce yourself. I definitely look forward to that, sir. Northern Knives, good to have you here. Hey, all. Sorry I'm late. How have Bob, Jim, and the Junkies been? Well, I, for one, have been awesome. Jim, I think I could say, has been good as well. And then the rest of you junkies can speak for yourself. But it's good to have you here. Let us know what you're carrying. Northern Knives up there in Anchorage, Alaska. That's Mike. He has an awesome collection and sells some really cool knives and does some really great exclusive stuff up at Northern Knives. Todd Carr says, my American Lawman is the S35VN coated, but still has the hollow ground blade. Very nice. Makes a great cutter with that hollow. Yeah, no kidding. I didn't know that they were still hollow grinding those when they moved to S35. Pete Davidson says, given your Filipino martial arts background, what do you feel is a good weight for a fighting stick? A weight? Well, I don't think I have a good weight because, and I'll tell you why. Because the rattan sticks that you practice with, or that you might even use in combat, usually it's a length thing. And with those, they say it should go from your underarm to your bent wrist, but really it should be about 29 inches. I personally don't adhere to that. Like, everyone's got a different size stick. It should be about 29 inches. And then the width, it definitely depends. When I was doing a lot of training, sometimes if it was a whole class, like a whole hour and a half of just doing sticks, I had thinner pair, and I'd use the thinner ones because they're lighter. And over time, all that gripping and then making impact, it takes a toll over an hour and a half. And so I would choose a thinner gauge or a thicker gauge, usually going with the thicker gauge, unless I knew it was going to be hours I was going to be using this thing. But what I would say is, like, material matters, because I have a Camagong. Camagong is the Filipino hardwood that is frequently used in the handles of some of these swords, and then in the fighting sticks, not just the training, but the sticks you're going to use to actually break other people's swords and crack their skulls open and all that. Camagong wood is super dense, like lignum vitae, and super dense, super heavy. And so a 29-inch 3/4 round thing is going to feel way heavier than its rattan analog. And then I have a set of shorter, they're about 26 inches, that a friend from an old school made for me. And I don't remember what kind of wood it is. It's not Camagong. It's super dense, but a little bit lighter. And I would say go seeking out a Filipino wooden stick would be the way to go, and don't necessarily seek the weight, but seek the density of the wood. Chris Lopez says, "I like your shirt, Bob." Oh, thank you. Yeah, this is one of my wife and daughters get me T-shirts for every occasion, and they're very frequently knife themed, and I think this was the very first one, and I like it. And tonight I am flipping out. Byron says, "Whoever was looking for the Gen 3 LUDT, that was Dave. This old sword blade or OG Blades says Arizona Custom Knives has one, but you ain't gonna like it. Why? What does it look like, a donut or something? Is it all goofed out?" Robert Streben, nice to have you here, Robert. Hey, Bob, Jim, and all you junkies out there. Well, hello to you, Robert. A fine name indeed. Sorry, I'm getting stuffy. Noah Stewart, nice to have you here, Noah. Never been to a blade show? Let's see. Never been to a blade show? Do they typically have an out of stock knives? I need a Jack Wolf after hours. Bad. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Now, I don't know if he will, if Ben Belkin and Jack Wolf Knives in their booth will have old stock. I'm not so sure about that. But at Blade Show, Noah, if this is something that you can easily get to and you really want it badly and you can spend the money on a day's ticket, it's definitely worth going in and checking out, because I told you there are all the big booths, and then there's a whole like acre of tables of smaller makers, and then but not just makers, but smaller collectors who are selling collections. And you want an old Microtech, that's where you find it. You want an old Randall made knife, that's where you find it. You want an old GEC, that's where you find it. So you might be able to find one there, Noah. I think you just might have to do it like my mother-in-law and just go into the store and spend hours and find that deal. I think you might have to do that. Otherwise, keep your eye on the secondary market. But that one in particular is the Midnight is a coveted one. Love the show, says Isaiah. Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Hopefully you mean this show and not Blade Show, but if you mean Blade Show, I love that one too. Reverend Jim says, had a knife in my pocket since I was 5. My wife finds it remarkable, but it's the way I was raised in the 50s and 60s. Fired my first gun at 6. Amen. Yeah, right. And I love that that's how you were raised in the 50s and 60s. But even, I was born in the early 70s and grew up in the 70s and 80s, and I kind of had a pocket knife. Like, if you had one, it wasn't weird. That's for sure. I think it's a new thing, so I think we can still change tack with this and get people to. Well, we all know that we can, because we've seen Doug Ritter change the laws in 37 states. So yeah, people are open to knives where many people are not open to guns. Many more people are open to knives, and I don't mean to compare them, but they're comparable only in that those people put them on the same shelf. So I don't even know where I was going with that. Penn says opening of Uncharted 2. Nathan Drake, I'm sorry, my God. Nathan Drake wakes up in a train hanging off a cliff. That's my blood. That's a lot of my blood. What are we talking about? Okay, I don't know what Uncharted 2 is, and who's Nathan Drake. And if you're yelling at your screen, oh my God, you're so out of touch, I'm sorry. But what is this? It sounds cool. I like stories like the very beginning of Walking Dead. People waking up in a hospital that's, totally empty. What's happening? And having to piece together the story. So let me know. Dogs of War, great book. Frederick Forsyth, great movie. Anfield. You just warm the cockles of my heart. Not too many people know that movie, but it was a great one. I remember seeing the trailer for it when I went to see some other movie in 1980. In my jungle, you'd be just another asshole. Gary Jarosky says, I always fidget with a knife when I drive. Me too. Now, here's something I've started doing, Gary. I always fidget with a knife when I'm alone in the car. When my girls are in the car, my wife or anyone else is in the car, I take the knife that's usually sitting in that little thing. We all have different cars and different consoles, but there's always a space in your console. Maybe it's a drink holder, or maybe it's a little thing holder, and you just put your knife there. So I always remove it and keep anything knife-like that's loose in the cabin. I stow it just in case we get in a crash and something flies around. I could never forgive myself if the knife opens up and ricochets into someone, including myself. I'd be like, oh, that didn't need to happen. So I'm not telling you what to do, but maybe when other people are in the car, not as much. And yeah, they wouldn't put up with it anyway. Put that away. Oh my God, I can't hear Taylor Swift. Yes, that's right. I let my daughters DJ when I drive them to school so that they get to school psyched and happy. But that means I get to listen to a lot of Taylor Swift. Craig Vincent says, I always sleep with a fixed blade by my side, usually a Klein Tools duck knife. I know exactly the knife. I keep that in my car. But sometimes I stuff a hatchet under my pillow as well. Damn, Craig. I like that. Nothing like a little hatchet under the pillow just to fix just make sure the neck is right. Seth Lang, in my jungle, you'd be just another asshole. Oh, good. Yes. Okay. All right. So many great quotes from that movie. So many great quotes. Stephen Clayton says, I gave my son Joey a T-Kel piranha for his birthday yesterday. Well, first of all, Stephen, happy birthday to Joey. Joey Clayton, happy birthday, young man. And man, dad of the year, given a T-Kel piranha. That's awesome, man. Nicely done, sir. Robert Strebin says, Bob, the knife you should get is the one that Knife Center had on today for new knives of the week. It was a non-ripe banana knife. That's the one I'm talking about. I thought it looked pretty awesome. Yeah, what were they calling that? I can't remember what they were calling it, but yeah, it's an unripe banana, and I think they were making the joke that they got the color wrong, but I think it's supposed to be an unripe banana. So anyway, it's pretty cool looking, and even the maker's mark on the side of the handle, the badge looks like the Chiquita banana, the same color, same shape. Scotch and Thing says, get the Gen 3 Scarab. Awesome out the front. And the Scarab has such a cool history. That one was definitely underwater demolition, for SEALs, underwater demolition teams and stuff, because you can see all the fluting at the ricasso of the blade, so that water easily goes in and out when you're opening, so that blah, 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 and pressure and this and that. Just a cool knife with cool history. I love the early Microtechs. I was aware of Microtech in the middle late 90s. I remember seeing them in magazines and being like, what is this? Geez, and it's automatic. And because there was a whole suite of these amazing knives. There's a recurve Tonto. There was a Hawkbill. There are a lot of really different cool designs from Microtech in the late 90s. It's worth the time looking up. Noah Stewart says, I have a Null Reiku. God, these Null knives are so freaking beautiful. In the mail, congratulations, and want to send it to get the spacer and clip anodized, maybe to Knife Modders. I can definitely, I haven't done anything with them in a while, and I have something I want them to do, but I can definitely vouch for their work. Judging from the work they did on my Monterey Bay Knives Turbo, they did a beautiful high voltage green anodization on the titanium. So beautiful. And then it makes it look like kind of Statue of Liberty. And then they did a black stone wash on the blade, an acid stone wash. Just freaking gorgeous. Corbin Boobs, nice to have you here, Boobs. What's up, nuts? This is getting gross, man. I'm flipping my brown. It's getting even worse. Mini FSD1. That's a cool knife. Yeah. That's Brian Brown. There are two brown knives. One's Brian Brown knives and one's just brown knives. Angry Tom says, I really dig knife content I have a large collection. Right on. Some knife reviewers review knives that are unavailable. I do that all the time. It's not a review. It's more like, check out this knife I have. And that's, I'm saying it's fine. I'm exonerating myself. But my whole thing is I'm not really a knife reviewer. I'm not telling you what the latest and greatest is. Sometimes I am, but I'm letting you hear conversations with the guys and gals who design and make the knives. And then I'm just showing you all the cool stuff that comes to me, or that I acquire. But yeah, sometimes I feel bad about showing stuff that you can't get, but in another way, it's just like, well, you're not going to see it otherwise. So, and since this isn't like that kind of channel, I feel all right about it. Peltonen, a Finnish knife. Oh, okay. Peltonen. Not a Peloton. Peltonen. I wonder if that's like that big knife that he uses to stab through the head of the Nazi in Sisu, like a big Nordic bushcraft knife. Patty's Nut says, I nodded off while sharpening on a KTM. The rhythm was very soothing. That's funny, man. Yeah. The DeMarco men, at least those in my wing of the family, are blessed with the ability of sleep, unparalleled by anyone else. And we're not talking narcolepsy. It's not an illness. It's just a propensity. And so much so that there's a famous story in my family where my grandfather fell asleep during mass standing up. He did not like the Monsignor at his church, but he was still a devout Catholic, so he'd still go. And I think the Monsignor was bloviating a little bit too long, and my grandfather fell asleep. And, if you've ever been to a Catholic mass, there's a lot of rising, a lot of sitting, a lot of kneeling, a lot of moving up and down. And the whole congregation sat down, and my grandfather was still standing and sleeping. And my grandmother had to tug on his suit sleeve, and he woke up and crossed himself and sat down. I'm sure I've told this story here many times, but I love it. So yeah, sleep. Don't sweat it. Angry Tom says that banana knife is almost $500. Well built, but it's almost $500. Well, Angry Tom, you got to know the waters we're swimming in here, sir. Yeah, all the good ones are expensive. Not all the good ones, but a lot of the American-made ones that are new. Like, I would love to go to the Microtech booth and get the new wiggle free or play free out the front. But I know for a while it's going to be so freaking expensive. And who knows, it might remain so for a long time. But the way I see it is, if you figure it out, you got to export that technology across your out the front product line, and don't upcharge for it, because that's just kind of being a dick. Or maybe it's not being a dick, but it's kind of taking advantage a little. But maybe not. Maybe it requires a whole lot more engineering, makes it a lot more expensive. But I think your goal, I don't want to say responsibility, but your goal as a manufacturer should probably be to always maintain certain things within a certain price range, and then you add other things. So that's what this is. This is an addition. But wouldn't it be cool if they took the technology gleaned from this edition and put it in some of their other stuff and say, hey, look, we're the company where none of it has to have any play. We're the only other company besides G&G Hawk, who no one can afford or get their hands on their knives, who has the play-free action. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? Yeah. Fed Harrison says, Bob, see you next Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. Hey, Fed, see you next Friday, Saturday, Sunday in Atlanta. Safe travels, brother. Good night, Bob. Jim, stay safe. Keep them sharp. Going over to Pocket Razor Live to show some love before I go to bed. Here, sir. Godspeed. I'll see you in Atlanta, sir. Robert Strebin, I would love to have a non-ripe banana knife for that Knife Center has. Yeah, I saw it in the video too, and it looked unique and awesome. Oh yeah, it does, and it looks also wicked. I have a thing for the tactical knives. For instance, here I'm gonna put 3 super cool double-edged fighting knives down here for you to. Oh, I put that one down for you to check out. I can't wait to go to Jed Hornbeak at Blade Show and see what he has. I'd love to get another Jed Hornbeak. This is A2D, Attention to Detail Mercantile. He's doing all folders these days. I can't afford him, but his stuff is awesome. Love that guy. That's Douglas Esposito, former Marine. I mean, so many of these dudes are former Marines. This one here is the Dirk Pinkerton Razorback double-edged fighter. Love this thing. This, believe it or not, this big knife or decently sized knife is light enough that it makes a great sort of sweatpants knife or hanging around the house in gym shorts knife. 6.5-inch blade. Wait, 6.5? Almost 6-inch. Almost 6-inch. 5 and 7/8 inch double-edged curved blade. You could hold it like this, have it like a Gununting, hold it like this, have it like a Bowie, or the Middle Eastern desert knives it's based on. Love this thing. Todd Carp, better to hit up your email or on Instagram? My email. Todd, send me your address, knifejunkie.com, TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. TheKnifeJunkie@gmail.com. Gus D. Stabana. No. Close. Something Nana, which made it felt weird for me to say. I was like, I don't like to say anything Nana. It sounds like I'm baby talking, and I'm not a baby talker. When when my kids were little, it was still, let's talk Keynesian economics, kid. No, it wasn't that at all. But I never liked baby talk because I'm like, whatever, doesn't matter. Todd Carr says Knife Modders do some amazing work. Still follow them on Instagram, but wish they would have kept the YouTube channel going. Yeah, I wasn't sure what the deal with that was, if they had dropped off altogether, and then I saw that they had not. They just kind of stopped doing their YouTube. That's fine. If it's taking away from, or if you feel just overly obligated to do that instead of actually modding knives that could get in the way. Jacob Green, nice to have you here, sir. I think I saw someone selling a banana knife at Blade Show West last year. This is brand new, man. I don't think so, but I do know that Microtech has made a very similar out the front with the curved chassis and hawkbill blade. But it was always black and tactical looking. I've never seen anything like what I saw today. Curious. But another one that they call the banana knife or banana blade is the Emerson CQC 8. Frankie Frank says, all right, Bob and Jim and Junkies, have a great time at Blade Show. I guess I'll try to hit up Salt Lake City on October 4th. Gentlemen, have a nice night. Frankie, you have a fine evening and a great weekend, sir. Luck Knives, what's going on? It's good to have you here with us, Mike. I've seen, if you guys follow Luck Knives, he used to be a NAF sergeant, and he has really, I know he's still collecting knives, but he's making them and just killing it. And he will be at table 25V at Blade Show this year. Luck Knives, table 25V. I will definitely be stopping by. Maybe you'd like to do a little quick 5-minute interview. I'll invite you right here. So that's one less email to send. No, if you would like to, I'd love to stop by your booth and talk to you for a few minutes. Not only that, but get a chance to actually hold your work after watching it over the past year. Robert says, hey, Bob, you ever been to Smoky Mountain Nightwork store? No, I have not. That is a place I want to go besides the Blade Show one day. Me too. And Tennessee is beautiful, right? I don't think I've ever been to Tennessee. One of the few states I haven't been to. I would like to do that, but I've never been there. I have a feeling if I went there, I would be there for about as long as I would be at Blade Show. I'd be there for longer than an hour, that's for sure. So I'm not sure what I think I'm going to leave my options open. I'm going to go without any preconceived notions about what I want to get. I know I definitely want to go to the Microtech desk or booth, check out what they got and get something from them, whether it's like the commemorative knife or what have you. But I'm also, I'm going to be buying some cool fixed blades and stuff. I just don't know. And then my youngest daughter wants a dagger, so I got to get her a dagger. And then I got to get something for my wife. She needs a replacement to a Civivi that she loved so much that she lost. And then my older daughter, I have to get her something. So I got, You know how it is. You go to Blade Show, you got to buy for the family too. But that's fine. That's fine. If it helps with the buy-in, I'm all right. I'm all right with that. You know, I love doing this show. I was so hot and bothered before this show began, and it just helps to chill me out to talk to you guys about knives. Talk to you guys about knives. So, anyone get anything new in the past week? What have you gotten new? I have gotten nothing new. So, I've been showing off some oldies but goodies here. But I'm curious what you guys have, what any of you guys have gotten. Let me know. I have seen that. Well, let's bring up a Knife Life news. Actually, Jim, can you bring up the second story? I want to talk about Kershaw's second product release of 2024. So this one looks cool, and one part of it that's exciting to me is that they're expanding the Iridium line, which I very much like. But look at this. This is the launch. The launch 20. Can you believe 20? Oh my gosh. It's like yesterday. There were only 9. They were only up to the launch 9. And look at this. This thing is really cool. It's a beautiful blade. And if you ask me, that is kind of a well, it's a sheep's foot blade, but it looks like the sheep's foot that they put on the Iridium, which I never ended up getting. But the Iridium, one of my favorite knives from last year, favorite folding knives. What a great utility knife that thing is. And it's a looker, and it's got tremendous action and all of that. So this is the launch 20, and we can see it's got a carbon fiber inlay, 154 cm blade. It's a beauty, and of course it's a button open. Can you scroll down a little bit, Jim? There's another one here that I think is pretty cool. Oh, there it is. So there's the mini Iridium, and this knife scales down very nicely. It really, I don't know. I think it looks like it's going to be a winner. What do you guys think? Liking Kershaw these days? I mean, to me, they do the crossbar lock better than anyone. So far, my Iridium crossbar lock, being honest, is better than a Hogue, better than the Benchmade. It is the best one I've used so far. Better than Kaiser. Yeah. Thoughts? I don't know. Some people might bristle at that, but I think it's a great one. This one, interesting. I think a fixed blade knife with a giant hole right at the weakest point, or making it the weakest point. I'm not crazy about that, but chances are you're not going to be using this to climb up on or anything like that. And then we scroll down. That's an interesting little, the Craze. It's got a crossbar lock and a little Wharncliffe blade and a bottle opener on the back. It's a cool little one. This I hate. I cannot stand this. The Cybernet. I don't like this kind of out the front. If you're going to do an out the front, stop with the half stepping. I don't like out the fronts that require anything other than sliding forward an actuator. And this, to me, you're sliding forward the whole blade, and I don't know. It reminds me of those kind of giveaway knives that you used to get in the 70s and 80s. You know, that had the little plastic chassis, and you slid it out and fold the piece down and lock it in. Not a big fan, but overall, pretty interested in Kershaw these days. They seem to have clawed themselves out of the 8CR13 MOV morass that they found themselves in for a number of years there. All right. Well, since we have oh boy, I lost it all. Hang on. I'm blind. Here we go. All right. Everything on my computer just went blank. Okay, so lastly, let's check out CRKT and Princeton Wong. Now, Princeton Wong is a new-ish knife maker. He won a Blade Show award at Texas, and he's teamed up with CRKT for 2 really unique looking knives. But one of them, I got to say, really takes the cake. This one is cool. It reminds me a little bit of a Keynison in the overall shape, but it also reminds me of a sports car design that I designed when I was 12. And it looks kind of like this, called the Frusta, which is Italian for whip. And I thought that was super cool. Look at that. That's a cool looking knife. Very interesting blade. Very large opening hole and interesting handle slash frame. They're interesting, kind of skeletonized. That's the nucleus. 3.19 inch blade, 12C27. But this next one, I think it's pronounced the Fial, is the one that to me is the coolest. So it's a really slick looking folder, right? But it also has a corkscrew hidden in the spine of the knife. And I like wine just as much as the next Italian dude. And the thought of having a super slick knife and then an awesome bottle opener. And you can see the part that it's not just a bottle opener or a corkscrew, it's a wine key. So that whole piece flips up, and that's what once you screw the corkscrew in, that part that flips up is the part that you use as your lever against the rim of the neck of the wine bottle. So you got a full-on it's a full-on wine key, but with a full-size blade. I think it's super cool. Also 12C27N, which is a Sandvik steel from Sweden. And I'm thinking this thing's cool. What do you guys think of this one? Any thoughts on this Princeton Wong knife? Now, I don't know much about Princeton Wong, but I want to now that I've seen those designs and seen some of his the design that won Blade Show Texas. Looks very cool. All right. Luck Knives says, getting all my knives sharpened up right now so I can get them sent out tomorrow. So you send them. I know some people drive, other people send them. I think that that has to be a nerve-wracking decision. Now, I know where you are, you're not going to want to drive because that's one hell of a distance. But some people who are closer or on the East Coast, I know they not just people who are showing their work and selling their work there, but people who are going are like, should I drive? And then I have no problem coming back with my stuff, or do I fly, make it easier? Todd Carr would love to make a cross-country trip someday and hit up every knife store and maker I could along the way. Amazing memory maker trip. Yeah, no kidding, Todd. It'd be great to do that with someone also who cares, though. Like my wife knows how to fight with a knife. She's handy with a knife and she likes knives, but I don't know if she could do a whole road trip devoted to it. I know she couldn't, and I wouldn't ask her to, but it would be cool to do that, what you suggest, with someone who's into it. Pens and Pen Blade says, have some Rough Riders coming in the mail. I love Rough Riders. First of all, they're actually very good knives. And for the type of knife they are, the 440A steel is no big deal. You just resharpen it. You're not going down cutting down trees with it. And so many great designs and priced at a point where you can try them out and see if, do I want to buy a more expensive Barlow? Let me check out this Rough Rider. Or you just might like a whole bunch of different designs and want to have them all, not want to break the bank. I love Rough Rider. David Helka says, I just ordered a new version of the Petrified Fish Victor. Oh, I like that knife in aluminum and 154 cm. I don't have it yet, though. Ooh, that sounds awesome. I love the Victor. Great looking clip point / Bowie blade. But the originals were in D2 and micarta liner locks. So this is titanium, and that sounds awesome. Robert Strebin, love your shirt. Is a new one a new one on your website? No, this is an old one that my wife got me. But we got a lot of really great knives, t-shirts on the website. Actually, you just go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/shop. I say knives, I meant t-shirts. And you can check out all the new ones that Jim has made over the past couple of weeks. Five Door says, new knives, Benchmade Adira. I know, me with the Axis lock, and a few GECs. Very nice. That Adira is in their new oceanic line. I'm not sure what they're calling it, but it's like the handles are seafoam green. And I got to say, they look like Shane Sibbert designs. I'm not sure if they are, but they very much could be. I wouldn't be surprised if they were. Shane Sibbert's the guy who designed the Adamas and the Pocket Rocket and a couple of others. Angry Tom says, my friend gave me a case 1976 3-blade with hole punch Stockman. That's awesome. Okay. So this is a case 2024 or 2023, but this is a Stockman, a medium Stockman with the punch. And it took me a while to find this, but I love that. Stockman usually is the clip point blade, usually a California or Turkish clip point, and then a sheep's foot, and then it usually has a small spay blade. But in this case, and a spay blade should be big because it's for castrating bulls, right? So it shouldn't be a small blade. Eschewing that, they put the punch here, and this is a much more useful tool on a small, or in this case, medium Stockman knife So I always joke that with a Stockman, the spay blade, a little spay blade on a Stockman, you're spaying a squirrel or a raccoon, which would not be easy or fun unless you hit them over the head. Gary Jarosky says, I just got a Cold Steel Chris Voyager. Oh, yeah, love that thing. I have my Cold Steel Chris tie light right here. Oh, wait. Last shipment I got was the Cold Steel SRK in 3V, American Lawman, Finn Wolf, Bowie neck knife, and original Angry Watermelon. The Rough Rider Tadpole. Right. I remember that one. Craig Vincent. Bob, I came across another big-ass Bowie. I don't know who made it. I don't know what the steel is from. It seems decent, but I don't know. I want to send your way for evaluation, but only if you keep it. Craig. All right. If I have to, yes, of course, I would love to evaluate the Bowie. And then once I get it, we'll talk about it. I will say, I want to keep this. And you will say, no, send it back. Or you will say, keep it. So we will do it that way. That sounds awesome, man. Thank you. I'd love to check it out. I was so shocked by the Black Mule Bowie by Rough Rider Knives and their 3 CR13 MOV and how damn tough it was and what great edge retention. I'd love to check out your anonymous steel Bowie. I bet it's awesome. Jason Lotz, nice to have you here, Jason. What do you know about the new Ken Onion attachment for the Work Sharp? Zero. I know zero about it. I know there are a number of people here. I'm not sure if Dave is still here, who may have that, but he's a big fan of the Work Sharp. I do not have it, so I cannot comment on that. Sorry to say. Gus D, check out the Fox Anzu Les George oh yes with Magna Cut blade and a very reasonable price. Feels great in hand and comes very sharp. That sounds awesome. And yeah, I think Boker does great work. I know they had a shadow over them for a while, but I never saw any reason why. Craig Vincent, Jason Lotz, I've been using one for just over a year. I love it. Very much worth it in my opinion. Awesome. See that? One knife junkie helping out another. Todd Carr, interesting concept, but ability to be actually useful is another thing altogether. Good thing about the corkscrew, as it can be used for knots as well. But price point and QC is often a problem for CRKT. Well, Todd, they've been doing with a lot of their premium stuff is farming it out. So I'll have to re-examine the article. I didn't catch where if they were doing it themselves, but they've had Hogue making some of their knives. They've had Tops make a knife. They've had a few knives made in America by other companies, which I think is cool. It's kind of knowing your limitations, but also knowing, look, we gotta change things a little bit. Knives to My says, Knives, good to have you here, Knives to My. One new knife and one old. I got a Civivi Varius and a World War I German butcher blade bayonet. Oh my God, that's so cool. That's so cool. I love historical things, historical knives, knowing that they've seen so much more than me, even if it was sitting in a drawer for an entire decade before I was born. That's still cool. Pens and Pen Blades says, have a great Friday and a great weekend, all. Thanks for a great show. Pens and Pen Blades, thanks for coming, man. Greatly appreciated. That's just about it for us as well. But yeah, be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit the thumbs up button on your way out. That'd be awesome. And don't forget that Thursday night is the beginning of the weekend. Coming up on Sunday, Evan Nicolaitis of Esnick's Knives. Oh my God. Talk about corkscrews and this guy makes amazing slip joint knives, and not just single bladed amazing slip joint knives. He's been doing these like multi-bladed, multi-tools, super luxe multi-tools, as well as production knives through Riot. The man is an amazing knife maker, and he's killing it in the world. Robert says, or in the knife world. So would it be cool with you if I got your Knife Junkie logo tattooed on my arm? Oh my God, Robert. Yeah, that would be cool. I would love that. I mean, it's your body. You do what you want with it. And if you decided to put that logo on, I would be, I'd be super honored. You would just have to send me a picture, because I designed that in concert with my sister, who's a graphic designer. I drew it out and she put it together. And so I would want to show my sister. So yeah, if you do that, that would be really cool. And I've always thought of doing that too. I just haven't gotten a tattoo in so long. But yeah, that'd be cool. Just send a picture. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And if you want to become a patron, you can go to the QR code that Jim had up on the screen, or go to TheKnifeJunkie.com/Patreon. Good way to do it. And sign up there. All right, guys. Well, next Gentleman Junkie knife giveaway, we'll be giving away some Liang Ma, and we'll be giving away a Liang Ma knife. And in the interim, we'll be giving away other cool random knives sent to us from Dave, OG Blade Reviews. All right. Well, that does it for me. And I can't wait to see you guys at Blade Show. And we'll leave it right there. For Jim, working his magic behind the switcher, I'm Bob DeMarco saying, until next time, people, don't take dull for an answer.